Hello, I am Darux, coach of the Chaotic Chandeliers, and I'll be taking part in this year's Winter Wildcard. This draft was a snake draft, and I was the 8th seat. So, yep, let's just get right into it. My first pick was Zebstrika. Zebstrika is just a very good electric type, being fast and having a good attack stat, while also having a pretty decent special attack stat. Uh, it can also have an immunity to electric or grass with its abilities, and just it's a very good pivot mon as well, with like Volt Switch, and then it has good electric moves. It has some good coverage moves like high horsepower or flame charge. Even Trailblaze could be used, and yeah, I just expect Zebstrika to come in and cause some chaos and then switch out. It's not really gonna stick around that long, but it'll do some huge damage when it's in the battle. My next pick was Dockspun. I feel that I needed a bulky Pokemon and a fairy type, and Dockspun is very good at both of those things because with its defense, it can take most hits, and while Big Body gives it an immunity to fire, which I don't really need, but is helpful. It's also really fast for what it is, and the main reason I wanted it because it has Wish and Protect, so it can pass on wishes with Baton Pass, uh, and just cause chaos on the other team with something like Yawn or Last Resort even. And then it also has a pretty good attack stat, so Play Rough is an option. And yeah, just being a good fairy type to deal with all the dragons that are around. And yeah, my next pick is Altaria. Now, Altaria is pretty well known for being very weak to ice, but besides that, it's quite bulky, and its ability means that it can just switch out if it gets status, so it can switch in, take a status effect, and switch out. It has good defenses. It can be a special or physical attacker, and its speed isn't the worst. And so yeah, it has some good moves on both sides, like Dragon Claw or Draco Meteor. Got some good coverage like Flamethrower and Play Rough. It can disrupt with stuff like Will-O-Wisp or even Tailwind, and it also gets Defog, which I plan to take advantage of, along with Natural Cure. I can switch in on Toxic Spikes and defog them away without having to worry about something being poisoned. But yeah, my next pick was Titan. I was shocked to learn that I was the only person to pick Titan in this entire competition because I think this thing is gonna go crazy. Its two best abilities, Slush Rush and Sheer Force, are banned, but that's okay because Thick Fat is still really good as it gets rid of its fire weakness, which, along with its insane HP, this thing is going to be able to tank most hits, and it can deal us just a lot of damage. And we look at its moves, uh, just gets a lot of good ice moves, and some coverage like Earthquake and Knockoff, which will be really good because in this low tier draft, everyone's going to be running Eviolite or Focus Sash or Assault Vest. So having Knockoff can get rid of those and allow them to be killable. It also gets Belly Drum, which I think will be really fun if I can set that up because this thing could just sweep a team if I can get a Belly Drum off with it. But yeah, anyways, my next pick, Haunter. Haunter, I don't even need to explain why this thing is good, but being a poison type with Levitate gets rid of its ground weakness. It has an insane special attack stat, good speed, It's middle evo, so I can EV light it, which means its bulk is actually decently good. Um, it has just a lot of good moves, like Shadow Ball, fucking Venoshock. Even I could use. uh, but it's mainly known as like a disrupting Pokemon with something like Will-O-Wisp or Toxic. It can set up Toxic Spikes as well, and yeah, just cause huge problems for everyone I'm going up against. But anyways, my next pick is Matang, and there's an ad. But Matang finishes off my first core of Fairy Dragon Steel with Doxba and Altaria and now Matang. Clear Body, it can't get its stats changed. It's pretty bulky, even though it's kind of slow. It's a Steel type, so it has a lot of resistances. Has an immunity to poison, which can be really good once again with those Toxic Spikes. Has pretty good moves for what it is. Like Bullet Punch is really good for finishing off opponents. Metal Claw, even like the screens, I can set up screens with it. I can set up rocks. I could trick if I'm feeling really rude. But yeah, I expect this thing to just probably be the lead a lot of the time. If I do bring it, it'll lead, set up screens or rocks, and then it also gets Brick Break also, which if they have screens, I can get rid of theirs, which will be really good. Anyways, off to my first Terra Captain is Brionne. Now, Brionne doesn't look that good with its stats, but this thing can be really good because of Liquid Voice. It turns all sound-based moves into water types. And along with its 91 special attack, this thing can do damage. It has really good coverage moves for both Fairy, Water, Ice, Psychic. Yeah, it can Moonblast. Hyper Voice turns into a Water type move, which will be really good. Icy Wind can slow down their team. I can Acrobatics if I really want to. Once again, Play Rough. I don't think it's going to be using that because it's a special attacker, but who knows. I can set up a sub. I can Encore them. And then also has Flip Turn, which gives me more momentum. Because most of my team has momentum. Because I really like being able to come in and switch out quickly. Yeah. My next pick was Reboot. And there's so many Adobe ads. Holy crap. Reboot, pretty self-explanatory. It's a good fire type. It has Libero, so it can switch its type depending on whichever move it uses first. Has pretty good speed and a good attack stat. It's basically just a small Score Bunny. You know how Score Bunny works. It comes in, does damage, gets out. And that's basically it. So yeah, this thing, pretty good coverage moves, can change to a lot of different types. And I think something like Sucker Punch might be a thing that comes to every battle because of just how incredibly good it is. Along with giving me another Dark Resistance, which I don't have that much of. But anyways, my next pick and my next Terra Captain is Cranidos. Now, Cranidos is hopefully gonna put in a lot of work. I want this thing to be a kill leader, even though I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. When this thing comes to the battle, everyone knows what it's gonna be doing, because when you look at its attack stat, it's only here for one job. This thing is going to be scarfed, max speed, and just head smashing everything in its path. It's not. If it gets hit, it's dead. If it gets a hit, they're probably dead. But yeah, besides head smash, it might set up a spike or two. It could use an earthquake if I want. has some pretty good physical attacks if I can survive. But yeah, this thing's this thing's pretty self-explanatory, which is why I love it. Anyways, my next pick and my final Terra Captain actually is Hisuian Zora. Uh, Hisuian Zora, amazing typing, illusion, pretty good stats for being a first Evo. Has 85 special attack, which is much better than I would have expected. Its speed is really good for being this weak. Uh, yeah, it's quite frail, but focus sashing it with illusion, and they're not going to see it coming. Well, they will probably, but hopefully they won't. um, yeah, I can use a shadow ball, can dark pulse, just also has another pivot mon with U-turn. I plan to use something like knockoff with this because if they don't see it coming, knockoff will go kind of crazy. And yeah, this thing can be quite fun if done correctly. I just gotta hope to trick my opponent with it. Anyways, my next pick was Yanma. Now, my rock weakness is looking pretty bad. But my explanation: this thing isn't surviving a hit anyways, so who cares that it's 4 times weak to rock? Who cares? Um, but yeah, anyways, this thing speed boost was banned on Yamega, but this thing is allowed to use speed boost. So along with its 95 base speed, it's gonna go fast. Um, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with this guy yet. I can't lie. I mainly picked it for Tailwind and maybe the occasional like U-turn, whirlwind, uh, maybe a struggle bug or two. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see what this thing ends up doing because I'm not entirely sure yet. But I can see this thing causing problems if done correctly. But I could also see it getting one shot immediately. And off to my final pick is Steenie. Now, Steenie was my final pick. It was a 1 pointer, and it finishes off the Fire Water Grass core with Brio and Reboot and now Steenie. With Eviolite, this thing can become kind of bulky. Oblivious is pretty good for just ignoring stat boost. Um, yeah, it has okay speed, but honestly, the main reason I picked it was because it's a grass type and it knows rapid spin. Besides that, this thing could set up a light screen and reflect. Maybe I'm not sure what this thing's gonna do. Kind of just picked it because I needed something that was a grass type and had rapid spin. But this I could see this thing cause like being a wild card. You never really know what it's gonna do besides rapid spin. So yeah, uh, yeah that was my draft. I hope that I am able to do an impressive showing for my first ever draft league. And I would like to thank everyone at UNPL for allowing me to participate. And yeah, I'll see you all next week for my first battle against Cool Nick.